All the answers are look no further than the First and Second Amendment. Weaponizing, Joe Biden got into the office and he said the first thing he wants gone, I'm going to say, is ghost guns. Now, this is probably the wrong term, but it's these makeshift weapons that you put together, like in a suitcase in those action movies. Here's my cue, the director saying, all right, start walking, now we're in action. You know, in these action movies where the guy gets a suitcase, he opens it, and then he puts together like a silencer, a clip, you know, just that whole putting together a gun is really, you know, it jazzes up the action. So Joe Biden's like, we're gonna outlaw these, because he couldn't outlaw all guns entirely, so he outlawed those. And was that intuition of, you know, makeshifts, that's what's so important in handling firearms, was because the makeup of them in modifications are something that can be utilized of small packages. You know, God's in small packages. And how cheesy does that sound? Is in the Bible, it always says his word. That first was his word. And then it was like he created like darkness or light, whatever. I forget the order, but what's so important is that like his word was first, and then the angels that he did make, they're making him bite his tongue because he had to throw them in hell, a good amount of them, because they went against him. And so in making humans, like, it's all those angels in hell currently, whenever humans make bad decisions, that they're pointing at them and saying, look at what bad job you did again. And so in knowing the deduction of the First and Second Amendment, or its proper uses, it's just how like easily it is to misuse one or the other for a detriment to invocate, you know, if you get locked up in jail, that's basically you're worthless as a piece of you know what. So things that would make you not want to get locked up in jail, such as being violent, you know, that's all bets are off the table if firearms are looked at as misuse of tools of active engagement. And with what I'm saying, big government or not, is so important. In the school behind me, there was a Red Ribbon Week, and I was doing this. I wasn't part of the Red Ribbon Club, but it was a signification of importance in how sobriety is. There was a wedding where a kid went there. This kid, his name is Max, and I heard he got punched in the head, and then he died. Okay, so when your freedom of speech is misused, and then its physical hands get put on, the life and death situation changes that cue. And that cue sometimes might not be easy to understand. And so it's that important to denote, you know, we're glorifying Red Ribbon Week. I went up on stage because they called this out in the auditorium. It was getting up there, not being a part of the club or whatever, me understanding the importance of the Red Ribbon Week. I was not in the club. I felt it was notable to go up on stage because I did indeed hang a red ribbon on a tree. And that's the difference between big government and not. You're in or you're out. And the more that gets sugar-coated or glossed over with people who are limited in doing acts of kindness, such as just going to a wedding and then dying because you get punched in the head, or what's disarray can occur when freedom of speeching is tampered with. Now, I don't know. You know, this guy, I called him Helmet because I came from Vermont. The teacher there would call us Helmet. It was when your hair is really bushy. Guys, I think, have thicker hair than girls. Not all of them, of course. There's some guys who have thin hair. Guys, even bald at early ages. I saw one today. I haven't seen Max in years. I don't know if he was balding at the time. In any case, did I contribute to something that happened at that wedding in the back of his mind? Any case, me calling him Helmet is because when guys have like this puffy hair around the ears, the whole bottom of the head, like a turtle shell, will kind of lip up, and this is a resemblance of a helmet because the hair on top is always poofing. I eliminate this from straightening with a straightener, and then going in, if your hair is not, if you're using really cheap conditioner, never use shampoo, but if you're using really cheap conditioner, your hair is going to look like dry as straw. So you're going to have to get something, any type of oil, preferably hibiscus that is a gelatinous, and rub it above the areas that would be poofy, that would be above the rim if you had your hair not cut precisely. Now, I cut my hair in imitation of Japanese guys, and this is something that I didn't know when I was a kid growing up with long hair. Ergo, I had a helmet. It looked like, as my teacher Jeff Hines would say, helmet. So me calling Max Helmet, you know, he had one, and it's really important to understand stylistic standpoints and hygiene, and those two things are what can look tacky if you're in a club or not, but it, you know, everyone's gonna look tacky if everyone's getting pushed around. So in making something fashionable, selling out is a detriment, which there's two ways to have humanity go extinct, and they both go under the radar, is if you're getting sold out. I'd like to compile that in two different ways. If like you're being an area, and in the middle of this area is like a obstacle, and you have to go about it, it's very disorienting, as opposed to if that obstacle in the middle of the room wasn't there, it wouldn't be as disorienting. That in mind, with the best hiding spot is in plain view. So if you craftily articulate or convey both of those together, it would be of the following two examples of how humanity would go extinct without knowing. Anyone who doesn't protect the young, whether what species, goes extinct. Because in the next generation is a bunch of duds. And so, in knowing that, not being turned into inbreds, getting sold out for trying to be fashionable, is something where clubs, or cliques, quite frankly, would allow that to occur. And what better club is it to go on social media and post a picture of you getting a shot, a ticket, and you get to show that. That was like one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. And it was like a fad, like a real big one. And then in blue cities, there's like Chicago, and you had to show that same ticket in order to go in. And I didn't have one. Luckily, the receptionist pretended that I wasn't there, and I got to go through just because I was with more than one person. So that was good to be in the position of the best hiding spot is in plain view. I made sure not to like try and hide from her. When it was my turn to get checked with if I had a ticket or not, I just stood there and acted as though, of course I had a ticket. Didn't you already see it? Wink, wink. That example.